Is Urban Decay shadows, are they vegan? Is Urban Decay cruelty free? Where can you buy Urban Decay products? Those questions and more will be answered today. Let's start at the beginning. It was launched in 1996, and when I started kind of looking, it seemed like the name Wendy Zamir kept popping up. So you would think, okay, so she's the founder. But actually, she is one of the founders, but not the only one. So all the founders actually are David Soward, Pat Holmes, Sandy Lerner, and Wendy Zamir. Wendy worked in marketing, and that's when she met Sandy Lerner. And they bonded over their love of makeup, but they were both kind of tired of the cookie cutter style. Remember, this is mid-90s. There wasn't kind of anything different out there. There was a lot of pinks and neutrals and some reds, but no like kind of edgy, far out, different colors for the cosmetic industry. And they wanted to change that. I'm using the all-nighter. So what they started doing was mixing some of the nail polishes that they had at that time, and they were trying to do it to create their own funky colors because they couldn't find something that they wanted to wear out in the market. And when they were creating these, they kind of thought it reminded them of the urban landscape. Things like smog and oil slicks, the rainbow, like iridescent thing of the oil slicks. So they were just kind of mixing and playing and thought, this reminds me of like the urban setting and kind of the decay of it. And voila, Urban Decay, it was born. Now remember, they gained so much popularity, and this was prior to the days of LinkedIn, Instagram, all that. A friend of her then boyfriend was a retail sales rep, and he left a copy of some buyers laying on the kitchen table. Well, she copied them all down, and she started getting in touch with the buyers. Within 24 hours, she had her first major order with Nordstrom. And I think you could probably say that they were ahead of their time, or at least she was. Again, this was before Instagram, but what she did was she reached out to New York's It Girls, gave them some of the product to try and wear so that they would tell their friends about it, and it would create this buzz about this cool brand, this new, funky, different brand. And then the popularity just grew from there. If you are just finding me, hello, welcome to my channel. This is Staci Lee Beauty. My name is Staci, and on this channel, I am in my mid-40s, and I like all things beauty, makeup, skincare, fashion. It all makes me feel good. It makes me just, I don't know, it's just helped me feel better about things when I'm feeling blue or feeling down, anxious. And I hope that even if you don't have those issues, if you are a fellow beauty lover, that you will join me here multiple times a week. My philosophy is that beauty is more than just a superficial thing. It is, it can just make you feel so good, and we should feel beautiful at any age, not just when you're in your 20s, any age. So yes, I hope that you will join me here multiple times a week, and we can just keep the community growing. All right, now back to some history. I'm doing my makeup a little bit different today. Usually I do my eyes first, but we're starting with the face, and then I'm going to do the eyes. And FYI, Urban Decay does not have any blush. I was looking at my makeup and thinking, oh, I need to get a blush from Urban Decay because I don't have one. Well, they don't have one, so Urban Decay, put a blush out. How about? If you would like Urban Decay to put a blush out, give this video a thumbs up, and in the comments say, Urban Decay, we want blush. And I don't know if they'll see this, but I'm going to tag them in this video, so hopefully they will. When you think of Urban Decay, you might think, oh, okay, their first big success must have been the Naked palette. But actually, no. In 1998, their first big hit was the Midnight Cowboy eyeshadow. A pink champagne color with a silver shimmer to it. They don't still sell Midnight Cowboy, but they do sell a shade called Space Cowboy. And at that time, that was a very strange name for a makeup product. I mean, I know today we are used to strange names, but back then, you know, this was in 1998. You didn't have those kind of names. So they started by launching 12 nail polishes and 10 lipsticks. And the polishes came in shades like mildew green, iridescent purple, while lipsticks ranged from shimmery blacks to deep burgundies, and the names were like rust, smog, plague. So again, things that doesn't seem too crazy nowadays, I don't feel like, with names, but if you think back to 1996, you know, you didn't hear those things. It makes me think of like the Harry Potter jelly beans, how they're like weird names, but it just, you know, it wasn't done back then. You know, I was kind of surprised that it had been out so long because I didn't get into watching beauty YouTube videos until probably like 2017, 16. And before then, I don't know. I mean, I guess I bought some makeup at Sephora and Ulta. I don't really know. I can't even remember really where I bought my makeup, but I don't ever remember really using eye primer. I know that it wasn't a thing when I was first learning makeup, but I don't know. How long have you been using eye primer? Was it something that's like from when you can remember you used it or not? But of course, something that I feel like nowadays, if you say Urban Decay, what comes to your mind? What is one product? Maybe it's the setting spray all-nighter, maybe it's potion primer, or is it the Naked palette? How that came about was Wendy had asked, so she asked some of her staff, what would be the 4 colors? Because all she wanted to do was create a quad. What are the 4 eyeshadow colors that you would take to a desert island? And so they came with their colors. They put them out on the table. And she looked at the layout and liked them all. And so they put them all in a palette instead of just doing a quad. And that's how the Naked palette was born. So a total of 12 shades, ranging from warm taupe to bold blue. It included mattes, shimmers, satin finishes. And of course, the shade names had, you know, a little bit of those kind of scandalous at the time names. They had Virgins, Sin, Creep. And what does a company do when you have a hit that comes and it's so successful and you maybe can change the colors of that and hopefully recreate that success? That's right, you do more of it. So they did that. There was many Naked palettes since then created and sold. Let's just run through them. 2010, so that was the original. 2012 was the Naked 2. 2013, Naked 3. 2014, they didn't have anything out. 2015, the Smoky. 2017, the Naked, which is what I'm using today. 2018, the Cherry. 2019, we had 2. The Reloaded, which was supposed to be their updated version of the original Naked. They had discontinued that, and this was supposed to be like to take its place. And also that year, the Naked Honey, which I did not get. I remember looking at it thinking I was so tempted to get it, and I don't know, I might still, but everybody that has tried that, I feel like they love that one and say that it's one of the better, like best formulas. 2020 was the Ultraviolet, which is purple and greens. I do have that one and do enjoy that as well. It's no longer available, unfortunately. In 2021, they released 2 again. That was the Wild West and the Cyber palette. I was tempted on both of those, but I didn't. But the color story, it looks good. And it's interesting. I feel like every time they come out with a palette, it almost seems like it's kind of mixed reviews on Instagram, the comments. Like some people love them and love that they come out with palettes and they still have the Naked name on them. And then other people seem to be kind of like, okay, we get it, let's move on from the Naked thing, and seem to like when they just put out palettes that aren't Naked, like the wild greens. They do have other things besides the Naked palettes. You know, as I mentioned, they have like the wild greens. They've come out with some other ones over the years. They do also have 2 different single shadows that you can purchase with a few different color options there. But I'd say in looking at their website, as far as eyeshadows, it does seem like the biggest portion of the line is their Naked palettes. And just look how pretty that is. I kind of forgot about how easy this formula is to work with. I mean, that's 2 colors is all I've used. Is there anything that you would like to see besides the blush Urban Decay come out with or do? Oh yeah, and this year we had that new palette, the collab with Robin Enzenberg. That looked really pretty too, and the artwork, I really liked that, and was very, very, very tempted. I have a shadow stick, an eyeliner, talked about the Eyeshadow Potion Primer. They have mascara. So it seems like as far as eyes, they have pretty much, I think, everything covered as far as assortment-wise there. I do need to get their concealer. I haven't tried that yet. As far as the face, they have a couple foundation formulas, and they have a powdered foundation. They only have 1 bronzer, and if you want a highlight and blush, the only one that they have available is it's a duo of a bronzer, blush, and highlighter. They do have a face primer, the setting spray. So on that range, they have quite a few options for that kind of thing. It's kind of coming off as more of the pinkish than I thought it would be. So we're going to, this brush should be clean. Let me clean it to make sure, but I cleaned them all before. They have a glide-on lip pencil, and then the other 3 are all part of the Vice line. The Lip Bond, which I have that I'm going to use today, a Vice lipstick, and a Vice shiny lip balm. So again, there's multiple color ranges, but I was just surprised because I feel like a lot of brands, when you look at their assortment, you know, they have tons of lip products, and it's just kind of an interesting thing. I wonder, pre-2020, I couldn't really find how many lipsticks formulas, different lipstick formulas they had then, and it just kind of makes me wonder, did them or any other brand actually have plans to be launching more lipsticks, and because of 2020 and mask wearing and stuff, you know, they kind of scrapped the ideas or not? It's just kind of interesting on that one. In 2016, they did release a Urban Decay Vice Lipstick Capsule Collection, and that did have some of the original colors. So you can see back then, the direction was that very like kind of edgy, grungy color story. And now it does seem like the color story, you know, they didn't, at the beginning, you know, they didn't like the pinks and neutrals and reds, but as you can see, like they definitely have that covered today. So it's kind of interesting. Do you think a brand could have success nowadays without having the pinks, the neutrals, and the reds, even if they had a little bit of the unique colors, like that they need those basics in their collection? Or do you think that a brand could still see success without ever offering them? It kind of seems, I don't know, like nowadays you almost have to have that. The Naked palettes do come with a double-sided brush. Their brushes are made with recycled aluminum handles and synthetic hair. Interesting note, the synthetic hair is actually made from recycled plastic bottles. I did not know that, and I feel like Urban Decay needs to put that on blast out there. I mean, I think everyone is aware of the problems with plastic pollution, and the fact that their brushes are made with synthetic hair that's made from recycled plastic bottles. I did not know that. maybe I was just like out of the loop, but did you know that? And if you didn't, like, hello, yes, I want to scream that from the rooftops. So I'm going to email Urban Decay just to get a clarification that that is all of their brushes, or is it just select ones? But if it's all of their brushes, like, yeah, that needs to be just talked about and talked about. And if you, this is just a side note, but if you want some shoes that are made out of recycled plastic bottles, I did a video on a brand. I will have that linked up above and down in the cards. But yeah, it's like I'll get off my soapbox on that. But I just thought that that was amazing, and I had not heard anybody talk about that. To talk about the changing hands of the company, they have been sold a couple times. The latest one was in 2012. L'Oreal bought the company for a reported $350 million. Now, I had already sold previous to that. Urban Decay itself is cruelty-free. However, L'Oreal is not. So that just kind of depends on how you view, do you consider a brand cruelty-free? And if you go cruelty-free, do you still purchase brands even if their parent company is not cruelty-free? Or do you just look at the individual company to make your purchasing decisions? So I just wet the brush and went in with Kanye. And I really like doing this for eyeliner. I feel like it just gives you a little bit, gives you that eyeliner, but it's not harsh lines, and it's a way to use more of your eyeshadows. So I personally like doing that. Not all of their products are vegan, but they do have some vegan options. And actually, if you go to their website, you can search by vegan, so you can just see the products that are vegan. This lipstick, this is the Vice Lip Bond. Now, this is very long wearing, but one thing I've noticed is when I was looking at reviews and watching videos on it, a lot of people were like, oh, I don't like it. It's not long wearing. No. But you have to make sure you are shaking it, because if you don't shake it well before applying, it's not going to last as long as when you shake it and apply it that way. This color that I'm using is Pleased. As far as where their products are made, when I looked at the actual products that I have, it's a combination. Like this Naked palette is made in the US, the foundation is in Canada, and what I could find online, people who have asked, they have not been able to get an answer from Urban Decay of where their products are made. So I'm just going to assume that they're all over. As far as Mica and their sourcing policy, if you're not aware, there is some dark sides to mica mining. Not all companies, of course, but some do source their mica, and there's a whole thing about it. Again, I did a video on that. I'll leave that linked, but about using children to mine it and unsafe conditions and all that. So I've tried to really, if I can find out when I'm, looking into brands, like what do they say as far as how they get their mica. Urban Decay did reference their parent company, L'Oreal, their mica sourcing policy. And I just want to read it to you so I don't misspeak. So I'm just going to look down and read it. It says, L'Oreal states, today, 99% of our mica comes from completely verified sources. L'Oreal is a founding member of the Responsible Mica Initiative and is committed to ending child labor practices and improving the work conditions of Indian communities whose livelihood depends on mica. So there you have it. Hopefully that is true, and hopefully by the end of the year or in 2023 that L'Oreal will be able to say 100%. I mean, 99 is pretty close, of course, but hopefully they'll be able to say 100%. Their current headquarters are in Newport Beach, California in the US. The Urban Decay products can be purchased online at their website, of course, then in store and on the website of Ulta, Sephora, some Target stores, Nordstrom's, Macy's, and on Amazon. Oh, and you wait for it to dry before you like put your lips together. Now in October of 2021, one of the co-founders, Wendy, she did announce that she was going to launch a new beauty brand called Caloray. I have not tried anything from that brand. I haven't even really seen, I feel like it talked about a lot. So I don't know. Let me know down below if you would be interested. I'd love to know, like, have you heard of that brand? Have you tried it? Like, what is your thoughts about it? Do you know anything about it? Because I don't know. I kind of skimmed it, but I don't really know anything about that brand. So it was kind of interesting. And I thought, The products, when I look at it, they give me that very fun California vibe. Prices are around, like a primer is $36. My goal was actually to get this video up last Friday, but it just didn't work out. But going forward, just kind of let you know, I am planning on the first Friday of every month to do a deep dive into a brand, whether it's skincare, fashion brand, a purse brand, hair, whatever, makeup, just to really kind of do a deep dive, talk about the history, and I would love to know a couple things. Yes, I know. I ask a lot of you. I know I do, but I can't help it. I'm inquisitive. It comes from my mom. I feel like she was always asking us questions. That's why I could hardly get away with stuff when I was little, or younger, not little, but in high school, because, I thought I had everything. Like if I was, not being truthful, I thought I had all the details, and then she just is an inquisitive person. It wasn't always like meant to catch me in a lie, but she would ask that one question that I didn't have an answer to, and it was like, oh, busted. But so yes, I just picked that up, that I ask a lot of questions a lot. But so first Friday of every month, and I did do a poll on my community page of which brands you were interested in. Urban Decay got the most votes with 40%. And I did, mention some other brands, ColourPop, HipDot, and Merit. So what I'm going to do is another poll, and I'm going to leave those three in and maybe add one or two more brands and see who gets the most votes. And I know I'm kind of rambling on, but I'm thinking like every month I'm going to do a poll just to see like if we're still in that headspace, because as of right now, ColourPop will be the brand for January, but I just want to make sure we're all still interested in ColourPop the most. So yes, just be on the lookout for that. And also, I try to really look at and think about like, okay, what would I want to know about a brand? But if there's anything I missed, let me know down below so I can include those in the brand researches going forward. Like I try to definitely make sure, like, are they cruelty free, and the history, the product line, like if there's anything I missed, please just let me know down below. I love hearing feedback because I want to always improve. If you want to binge on Urban Decay information, you can click on any of the videos that are popping up on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend and that you'll come on back and see me again. Thank you. Bye.